Hello, I'm Sarah and I wanted to put together a series of videos to help people who want to lose weight during this period. So I run a weight loss coaching business called Think Thinner and are normally coaching people on a one-to-one basis. However, I've had lots of requests from people asking me how to lose weight because they're worried that they're gaining weight whilst they're in lockdown. In addition, they're worried about reports in the press that being overweight may cause more severe symptoms of the coronavirus. The reports of Boris and his weight struggles in the past have added fuel to this. So what I thought I could do would be to prepare a series of videos as a form of DIY weight loss so that you could follow the videos and recommendations I make and then lose some weight and enjoy being healthier. So first I thought a quick introduction about my qualifications might be useful, and so you can decide whether it's worth following my advice or not. So I have a diploma in weight loss and nutrition, and from this and from years of studying and trying out different diets and ways of eating, I have developed a weight loss program. Now, this isn't a faddy diet or a short-term fix. If you want to lose 10 pounds in a week or 2 dress sizes in a fortnight, this is not the plan for you. This is a sustained eating plan, which will ensure that you are eating right for your body, making you more healthy, more energized and more in control of your eating habits. So I'm proud to say that the program has a 100% success rate with all of my clients losing weight. I was also fortunate enough to discuss the merits of the program with an eminent weight loss surgeon, Dr. Andrew Jenkins, author of Why We Eat, and in brackets, Too Much, before the lockdown, and he too supports the idea that you have to change your eating habits for life, recommending similar changes to those that I have in my program. He says in his book, this is the only way of not only losing the weight, but keeping it off for good. Right, so moving on from this chat, I want to tell you what to eat to lose weight. So first, each meal should contain a good source of protein, non-starchy vegetables and healthy fats. That's it, isn't it simple? So protein could be any type of meat or fish, including shellfish and also eggs. Just make sure the meat isn't processed and the fish isn't covered in batter or breadcrumbs. The healthy fats could be nuts, seeds, nut butters, olive oil, coconut oil, avocados. The non-starchy vegetables are all your leafy greens, salad ingredients, carrots, peppers, mushrooms, list goes on and on. Just try and get as much variety here as possible, all the colours and shapes and sizes. And this forms the basis of your diet plan. The reason it's formulated this way is to get your body into fat burning mode. So this term is used a lot, but put simply, what it means is that you are using the fat stored in your fat cells for energy. So to do this, you will need to cut down on the amount of carbohydrates you have in your diet. And the reason for this is how carbohydrates are digested. When you eat carbohydrates, your body converts these to glucose and the hormone insulin is released to send this glucose to the cells that need it. Any glucose that is not used, insulin sweeps up and puts into your fat cells. So if you overeat carbohydrates, meaning you eat more carbohydrates than your body is using for fuel, you put your body into fat storage mode, and this is the opposite of fat burning mode. So You will still need to eat some carbohydrates for energy and for the nutrients they provide, but what you need to do to get into fat burning mode is to reduce the amount of sugar, white flour and starchy carbohydrates that you're eating. Examples of starchy carbohydrates are bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, the list goes on to include cakes and biscuits, which you would expect in a diet plan. This will ensure that your blood sugar levels remain steady and you do not have spikes where there's a lot of insulin released in one go. So fruit is fine in moderation, but as it can contain a lot of sugar, you should try and eat berries or fruit where you also eat the skin. The skin will contain a lot of fibre, and this wraps up the sugar contained in the fruit so that it takes longer to digest. It does not create the same hike in blood sugar as, say, drinking fresh apple juice would. The problem is that we have an over-reliance on starchy carbs to fill us up, and we think that we will be hungry if we don't have bread, potatoes, rice on our plate. And this is where you need to change the way you think about food and eating. If you want a different result, you have to change your actions. Although eating a meal which is high in protein, good fats and vegetables will not make you feel as full as soon as you've finished as a meal which is high in these starchy carbs, it will actually take you a lot longer to digest, as the digestive system has to work a lot harder to digest this type of meal. It will therefore keep you feeling fuller for longer than a meal filled with starchy carbs will. It's about training your brain to recognise this and realise that you don't need to feel completely stuffed after you've eaten in order to keep you feeling full after the meal. Now, the next bit is the most popular part. You will have a treat each week. Now, this is one treat, not a treat meal, day, or anything more. So, if you like drinking, it's your large glass of wine on a Friday evening. If you have a sweet tooth, it's your dessert after dinner on a Saturday night, or popcorn watching a film on a Sunday afternoon. Whatever your particular treat is, that part is up to you. What is essential is that it's planned in advance. It doesn't work if you're halfway through a brownie and then say, oh, this can be my treat for the week. To count as the treat, it needs to be planned, preferably 24 hours in advance. And knowing that you have this treat coming will help to keep you on track when you have a craving for something during the week. You can tell yourself that you will have cake, ice cream, chocolate, whatever you desire. You just have to wait a little bit longer for it, but it will be worth the wait. You will enjoy it even more when it's your treat, I promise you. Because there are no negative feelings associated with it. You don't need to feel bad, you don't need to feel guilty, or that you haven't stuck to your diet. It's part of the plan. Now, I know that some people will have different diets. So some people will be vegan, vegetarian, have intolerances. Some people will be more active than others and will need more fuel to provide energy for that. So in one-to-one coaching, it's of course easier to ensure that the program is tailor-made for that individual. On the protein side of things, if you're not eating meat or fish, then of course you can still lose weight, but you will be using lentils, pulses, grains instead. And whilst these alternatives are absolutely fine, because they also contain carbohydrates, you just need to pay attention to this and to judge the portions accordingly. But if you have questions about the program, please feel free to message me. I'm very happy to help, and I will come back to everybody who does send me a message. So the second thing I want to talk to you about is the hunger scale. Now, I've mentioned this on my post before, and to me, it is the most important skill you need to learn if you want to lose weight. So, the idea is that you think of a scale between -5 and +5. So 0 is where you're neither hungry nor full, just neutral. -5 is where you've hardly eaten for a day or two. Maybe you were sick and you've only just got your appetite back. You are suddenly ravenous and it even hurts. You need to eat so badly. +5 is Christmas Day full. You are so stuffed, your tummy's feeling tight, you can't move, you feel like there would be no room to stuff in even the smallest bit more to eat. Now, on this scale, you get to a -3, -2, you should eat. And when you get to a +2, you should stop eating. Even if you haven't finished everything in front of you, when you reach a +2, you stop. Now, I never understand diets that say, almost as a way of singing its praises, that you don't feel hungry on them. That is completely wrong. We are designed to feel hungry and to feel full. I'll talk about them in a future video, but there's a whole system of hormones that are working to ensure that we do feel hungry and full. If you're not having these feelings, then your hormones are out of kilter. The trick is to recognise when you feel genuine hunger and when you have a craving, and to distinguish between those two. The first is a physical sensation in the body. The second is a thought you have had about food which has created a feeling of hunger, an urge. And again, I'll look at these in a subsequent video, but for now, while you're working on the fundamental parts of the diet, start to recognise these two and how different they feel in your body. They will be the key to learning to eat when you're hungry and not for other reasons. Let's face it, if we only ate when we were hungry and stopped when we were full, we wouldn't have any weight problems. They arise because we eat for all different reasons too. Stress, boredom, tiredness, feeling overwhelmed, but also feeling happy, celebrating, enjoying times with friends when we could. The third thing I want to speak to you about is learning to weigh yourself, and not to be scared of doing this. You have to realise it is just a number. It doesn't tell you anything about your height, your build, what kind of day you're having, how often you've been able to resist your cravings that day. It is just a number. Like taking your temperature, you have to start being scientific about the number and not make it mean anything to you other than the number itself. Like your temperature, if you took that every day, it would fluctuate. Different times of the day, of the month, sometimes seemingly without rhyme or reason. It will go up and down, and that is fine. What you are looking for is a general downwards trend, but over a period of weeks and months, not over a period of days. As I said at the start, this is not a quick fix, but it is the only way to lose weight and maintain that weight loss for good. So, finally, and arguably the hardest skill to master, is to be kind to yourself when it comes to weight loss. If you have a bad day, don't let it undermine your confidence. You can do this. It is perfectly possible for you to lose weight. Everyone thinks they can't do it when they first come to me for coaching, and eventually they discover that they can. It will take hard work, and like learning any new skill, you won't get it right from the start. But keep plugging away and results will come to you. So please let me know if you're starting out on your weight loss journey with me. I would love to hear from you, how you're getting on, what your struggles and successes are. So good luck to all of you. I will see you next week, where I'm going to talk to you about changing your eating habits. Thank you.